All right, everybody, welcome back to Gear Talk. This is episode 7. Just kind of hang out, talk about gear, talk about builds. I'm here right now with Neva and Bane. Neva, why don't you give your intro, and then Bane can say the same thing he says all the time.
I'm Neva. Welcome to Gear Talk. We just like to hang out, have some fun, talk some shit, and talk about gear. Talk about the game. Bane, on to you, my friend.
For the record, I do not say the same thing. I use synonyms. Jerk.
Is that your intro, or do you got something else?
Nope, that's my intro.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, Timothy, you said you had a question, bro?
I did. We were working with my Stella 2 weeks ago, and I managed to finally repurpose a gem to penetration. So I now have a 100% pen set, but the gem is a canes. I already have canes on my Stella gear. If I add another canes gem onto the gear, will the penetration take effect?
The stat will, but can you? We shouldn't be able to inlay that on the set if you already have canes.
Okay, yeah. So that was my question. So because right now I believe I have a very good accuracy gem.
Okay, so that's what the thing is. We'd have to see the build again and everything, and see exactly what stat you're over, and what, you know what I'm saying? So
yep.
If you have canes, one specialty gem and one non-specialty gem in different weapons. You cannot place 2 canes gems on the same weapon. No. So it shouldn't even be an option for you to inlay that if you already have full canes.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
if you're using 2 of the non-specialty gems, like 2 accuracy gems, then you don't have full canes, and that's not giving you the set bonus.
Yeah. No, I do have full canes. I was just I'll have to reforge a Lynx gem to try to get the penetration on there.
What's the gem that you're using right now, the specialty one for canes?
I believe it's accuracy. I have full set.
The specialty would be tear suppression, resistance, or pen.
It'd be resistance. Let's see here.
Yeah, just inlay right over it. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to, but I would.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even if it's a waste of a cane gem, but the resistance isn't doing anything.
Exactly. If it's resistance or tear suppression, you just definitely inlay over it. If it's actually boosted, it depends on what the actual stat is at that point. Because if it's like in his 30s, then you're going to replace that anyway. So might as well.
But you can't. It doesn't matter because you've already got the resistance gem. That would lose you full canes.
That's what I'm saying. No, I was saying. So it is resistance.
Yeah. Well, I've got 43. Which one is this? I don't even know which one. Whether it's a 1 or 5. 43 accuracy on one and 2.7 resistance on the other. So I'll just have to replace the one that's
top of the resistance.
Yeah. Okay. That was my question. I took my Tan Lang for full pen up to, I think, 45, 40, and then my 2 Truce to 45.
It's a little bit backwards, but okay.
Yeah, well, I just have the Tan Lang for now until I get, again, I'm still using the red pupil. Close to getting my mega rets for the HP here. I think I need 6 more.
He's in the process of converting over to high dodge, tear space, actually. So,
well, if you're converting, then you don't need the pen.
Okay.
So I would keep the resistance because you're running a tank set having 50% penetration with no attack behind. It doesn't do anything for you. If you're not going to have a penetration helmet, there's no point in getting rid of that resistance gem.
I was thinking about switching it out. So depending on what the situation was, I could either go with 100% penetration or a dodge high accuracy with the HP damage with Transcenders.
So the thing is with that, honestly, if you want to go like a switch out and everything, Truth don't provide anything but accuracy and dodge. The pin that they have on there, pretty much it's there, but it's not too good. It's not a good standalone dual weapon system. Because with full pin, you want to have some attack damage going into the build, right? So like, I mean, into the enemy, right? So like, you'd have to either go into basically rely on all your attack gems and everything, but at the same time, I mean, it's probably better for if you're trying to go like the damage route to go with like an Alcade in there in the mix, right? Bane, wouldn't you say, or at least something like that similar?
If you're going full pen, you want full damage. Otherwise, there's no point.
Okay.
So two attack pieces and like Alcades, dim lights, even
Gotcha.
Wild Rose. A Truth is a swapping piece for an attack set, not the other way around. If you're using two Truths, you don't really have the ability to go full pen. If you had all attack gems, all attack and pen gems, and the helm and the weapons, you might be able to run two Truths for a pen build, but it's just not really.
It's not going to
Especially
do
on
as much. Yeah.
Stella doesn't hit hard as is, so that's not going to really work.
Instead, the reason why you're using the red pupil, and that's the reason why you want to get that up and running and everything, is because you get the dodge, you get the HP bonus, and you get accuracy. So you're going to be running a good amount of dodge, a good amount of accuracy, and a good amount of tier space damage that's going to be able to dodge these higher accuracy builds and still be able to do the damage that needs to get done, and still not kill you during the process of hitting someone with 3-piece because you're not doing as much damage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Correct? Am I correct in taking that, Bane? I know I could check with you on that one.
Builds tank and damage. They are not swappable in general. You
Yep.
can do minimal swapping.
Okay.
Any more questions? Any more questions? I completely forgot to actually scroll through these pieces. My bad, guys. The Bane. I told you I had a question for you today. And this is just generalized. That way we can show and everything. What kind of gems do we put on a sweet set?
Depends a smidge on the Sui set, but like for basic Sui sets, it's always Gemini full set because Sui is universal. So you need a few different things. Usually you want tear suppression in the build because it's Sui. And generally that comes with a Black Knight or Ambition because A, it's universal, B, it's useful for hitting tiles, and C, if you were to switch the build up to like an absolute suppression build, you'd still keep the utility and it's still universal. So you want a guaranteed hit. Gemini is the only one that's universal. You want Virgo, 2-piece Virgo for the extra Sui, obviously, and 2-piece Libra for the tear suppression. That's every basic sweep set should have those basic. You don't need 4, you don't need 3 or 4 slots. You just need the basic 2. If you wanted to improve it from there, you could. It depends a bit on where you're using it and how. You can run Andromeda because usually Swede's used with tier 11 infantry, not always, but more often than not. So Andromeda for the skill block is also because if you run it in endless, it helps versus the tanks. And you could finish off Virgo. It doesn't really help the set itself, but it does help in endless. And Canes is an option, although it's expensive and kind of stupid to put on a Sui set. Cassiopeia would help versus other Hancocks and such. But like overall in general, I would say that you don't need 3rd slots for Sui. And if you did, Andromeda would be about as far as I went with it.
Okay.
If you wanted to be super amped up weird, you could do like Taurus, Gemini, full Virgo, full Andro, something weird. But generally, you just need Gemini, 2-piece Libra, 2-piece Virgo for the Sui, tear suppression, and guaranteed hit. With attack gems, focus the gems on attack because Sui has low damage. So attack and then HP on the chest and usually dodge on the pants, but HP also works.
So I have an issue though. So I can put an ambition on it, which is normally what we use, right? But right now, the available high level chest piece I have would be Magrez. And Magrez isn't gemmed out to fit into my actual combinations. I mean, my actual current set I'm running now, right? So it's got, you know, Casio, Taurus, Gemini, and Canes on it. Would that be okay to put the same? Well, I think it's Casio. Would that be an okay thing to put the into it though?
You could, but you might as well just put a Black Knight on it till you get an ambition, in my opinion. There isn't really much point in keeping a Sui set swappable with other gear.
I have an ambition I can boost up. I just was saving it for a recipe piece if necessary.
As long as you have the basic Gemini Libra Virgo two pieces and the full Gemini, it doesn't matter what the rest of the gems are on the chest.
So my question to you would be why just curious on this, why 2-piece Libra? What's up with the tear suppression? What do we need the tear suppression for? I'm just
Sweet.
curious.
It's primarily used in cap battles and tile hitting. Like that's the primary place you're going to use it. So tear suppression is useful versus all the lower tier enemies. It's useful for tile hitting because most of the tiles are running some form of tier 1. And because since your set already has the tear suppression built into it in the gear, assuming that you're using a Black Knight or an Ambition, which is generally what you want, it's a useful thing to have. It's not necessary for Sui specifically, but it makes the set have more utility.
I got you.
And because it's Sui, there's not all that much you can do to amp it up, so there isn't really any better options.
All right, I was just curious on that because didn't see, because like you said, it's normally used in like to go after smaller marches and everything like that. And I was curious, like when we're sitting there thinking about tear suppression and how Sui kind of takes effect and amplifies your stuff and pretty much decreases their shit and everything. Like does tear suppression come into play when you're going against like because it changed how it works with the Sui and the tear suppression? I didn't know if that was something that happened or what. So thank you for clarifying that up for me.
But the primary reason I would give you is for hitting tiles. It's just good to have tear suppression, especially if you're blind sending at stuff.
All right.
You're automatically relegated to tier 11, generally speaking, or tier 12. So you've already got the high tier when you're using a Sui set.
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't offer a lot of good stats on the weapons and shit. I noticed that. Like, just the Sui. I've eaten so many Sui sets over the time, it's ridiculous. But I figure it's just decent to have one.
You just don't mind a comment on the Sui set. I was listening to your gear talk last week. Of course, I do work a lot, so that's why it's nice to be able to attend on days off, which I have one today. But someone was saying they run a second Sui set, main one, 40s, and then another 30 that they use both in peak and also in what's the other All-Star event. So I thought that was interesting because I actually ate my second Sui set a long time ago and thought, well, pieces are easy enough to get, and it's easy enough to get 30. It might be advantageous to add an extra Sui set just to set up in those events.
Yeah. Generally speaking, most people have both Hancock and Sister Wolf. And a plus 30 Sui set can throw wrenches in people attacking you or make it easier for you to hit other enemies that you wouldn't be able to beat with just one, or if the other Sui set's not available. I use 3 in All-Star. The third one's not all that useful because it's on King and he doesn't ramp but still fun.
So, what do you guys think of the new weapon?
Hard to say. I'm thinking it'll be good for walker tanks, like maybe Zadilius, possibly Hancock. It could be useful for infantry, but the problem with it is it's like too in between.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if you're gonna give a guy dodge and HP, then the penetration doesn't really do much.
Yeah, if that
And
penetration was accuracy, that'd be a different story. I would say it's a great weapon. But
if the HP was attack,
yeah,
like it's a tank build with dodge. Like generally speaking, if you're dodging, you don't need a tank. And if you're running pen, you want to do damage. So it's kind of in between. It'll be a good, possibly a swap in piece, so that you could maybe, I don't know, trying to figure out where it would be more useful than a truth for an infantry build.
honestly, I honestly I agree with you. I honestly thought the same process that it would be better on like a walker than it would be anything. Honestly, I don't see much use for it in infantry because you don't have a lot of there's no accuracy in it, right? You have
No, it's
HP. You
dodge and
don't.
tear stand penetration.
Yeah, you don't need. Damn it! Hold on. I keep fucking hitting the wrong shit for some reason.
But do you think it's
So okay.
worth $1,000 though?
No. Well, I mean,
No. Yeah,
if
I
you're
mean,
spending, but not on purpose.
I don't know. I mean, it's got a lot of potential ish. It's weird, man. Like you said, like there's no reason for it to have pin, and if it has pin, there's no reason for it to have the HP. So I feel like it would be good on Walker. I just don't know where at on Walker.
I would use it on Zod. Like heck, two of those would be pretty good for Zod, but one of those and an Aldebaran, because with a Tan Lang, maybe an Invincible / Antares. The thing about Zadilius, the status quo is you don't have to get hit for status quo to ramp. They just have to trigger skills. So if
Yeah.
you can dodge enough, Zadilius will hit hard if you have full pen, and he doesn't need attack. Well, I mean, he does, but he doesn't need attack once you go immune. That dodge could be
True.
fun. It'd be a good anti-infantry build.
Yeah.
But do you see it working on anything other than Sodilis?
It's not a bad piece for, say, Elf. It's just it like lacks the overall tank because it doesn't have crit wither.
Yeah.
So you would have to intentionally do some wonky build based off dodge. But it will take a hit, but it depends on what you're taking a hit from. The objective would be to not take a hit.
I was thinking somewhere along the lines of like maybe try to get like a tanky wolf out of it somehow, but you would probably need like maybe that would help out your damage wolves maybe because you can still get enough attack off based off of one alcade to do damage, and if you have that weapon plus
It's a swap-in piece. Like infantry can
yeah
use a truth if they need to. They don't really need the butterfly thing because the
yeah
truth has
true
it's more offensive oriented and it has the same dodge. But walkers don't really have an option for that. This would provide them a better way to get dodge without losing their full
exactly
sets built for. But I'm thinking like a swap-in piece is what it would be.
yeah
Unless you got like another one of them and you went like a full dodge tank
a full
build.
dodge tier space build.
Yeah, full dodge tier space pen build. That'd be weird.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems a little too specific for $1,000. especially when you compare it to the last 3 weapons
No,
that they've released.
I wouldn't buy it for $1,000 unless you were spending $1,000 anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe a $500 piece, not a $1,000 piece.
I don't know. I spent $400 on an Aldebaran and I felt stupid after that.
I just never understood that point of an Aldebaran for infantry. Personally,
Huh?
I never understood the point of an Aldebaran for infantry comp personally. So,
Well, I was too broke for a broken fortress, and I'm trying to make a tank Stella. So hey,
I understand. I mean, I get you.
I'm still trying to get the stupid Miraculous they won't freaking release.
Yeah, that is unfair.
I think
If you didn't get it back in the day, you don't get it no more.
And it was cheap back in the day. It was stupid expensive.
Oh yeah,
Still stupid expensive.
well, $2,000 piece, wasn't it?
Still is.
Insane. What were you about to say, Grant? Sorry, we went off on a tangent. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say, compared to the last 3 standalone weapons that they released, this is extremely underwhelming to me.
Oh well, I mean, what was the last 3 that released? The Mighty Shield, which just off of sheer attack damage and the fact that it has pin and attack. Fuck the special effect. I don't even know if it works right or if it's not, but the fucking attack damage alone makes it worth the fucking
Incredible.
spend on it. You know what I'm saying?
And then
with the
entropy, or the siphonizer.
The siphonizer. I don't know. I mean, there's good and bad to the siphonizer. It's got a lot of attack. It's got some good attack, but the lifesteal is pretty decent. They nerfed it. Yeah, they nerfed the shit out of it, man. They dropped it down from base 4 to to 2.5. That was not cool. Honestly, I didn't agree with that. I'm sorry, 7P. I did not agree with y'all nerfing that one. They nerfed the energy siphonizer. Nerfed the shit out of it.
What are you talking about? When?
4 updates ago, Bane? 5 updates ago, something like that?
Back in cast.
Yeah, it's been cast. They nerfed the fuck out of it, dude. They dropped the base down, and then on top of that, they fucking went the way it worked with Sunraven. It changed to how it worked with Sunraven, and you just get pooped. It was stupid.
That was their counter to Sunraven, and now it doesn't actually counter Sunraven.
Oh,
right.
Well, then I did not know that, honestly.
I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't seen a replay in a while, but I'm reasonably sure that the heal does not take effect after the rebound damage.
So that's the way it was doing. Right right after the update first came out, that's the way it was doing. I don't know if they refixed it, if they changed it or what back the way it was or what. But that after the update, it was really fucking bullshit because the fucking weapon didn't work the way it was intended to work. Healing Field still worked like a son of a bitch. I love that, but Energy Siphonizer did not work the way it was supposed to work.
Okay,
how it originally came out working.
If they changed it so they swapped around the rebound damage, then this is no longer $1,000 piece.
Well, it still has high attack, and 10. It's not a bad piece, and the heal is useful for the hybrid builds. It just a Sunraven now.
Not $1,000 piece anymore, if that's the case.
I don't know, that hybrid still wrecks small guys.
And then before that,
Looking
it was the Broken Fortress. So, like when you
they use both.
No, I mean
hence hybrid.
When I was talking about the last 4, the fourth one was Broken Fortress, and if you compare the items, like there are certain items that I could see someone spending $1,000 for, but just releasing something and it's new for $1,000, like I don't understand that logic.
This one here, the butterfly dance, it can have uses, but like Bane said, it's a swap in. So yeah, I agree. It's not worth $1,000, but
everything they've released so far has been $1,000. That's not going to change. Every single that they have released in the last 2 years has been started at either $2,000 or $1,000, or
Yep.
a combination of 6. You're not getting anything that's not coming out that way from now on. It's just not going to happen.
Unfortunately, that is correct. It sucks.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you have the option of the dance, the Rogers weapon, the siphonizer, and the Broken Fortress, let's say you have $2,000 to spend, my choices would be I would spend on the Broken Fortress and the siphonizer, or the Rogers weapon.
Yeah, no, I would get Broken Fortress and a Formula and skip the rest of that shit.
Well, no, I was talking about specifically the last 4 that they've released.
The weapon was.
Yeah.
Oh, just weapon. I suppose.
Well, I mean, if you open it up like that, yeah, there's better pieces, but like assuming you have 2 weapon pieces and you're like, oh, I'm gonna spend $2,000.
I disagree. I would totally, if dude, honestly, 2,000. Well, I guess because I already have a Broken Fortress, but I would go after Mercury. Dead ass.
Well, okay, assume you don't have anything.
Pipe down.
I thought I'd still go for the Mercury.
You
And
still
make it
go for
work.
the Mercury?
I like the trigger rate in the attack, man. I do.
You think that has more utility
But
over Broken Fortress?
no, of course not. Broken Fortress is very useful. Well, you got to think there's so many formal hots running around nowadays, man. So many formal hots. Because formal hot's not a very, very expensive piece to get anymore, as long as you're saving up the right blueprints and you're spending the right events. So, and you're seeing a lot more uses out of it. You know what I'm saying? So that still eats through your Broken Fortress a lot of the time if you're running it right. I mean, it doesn't completely break it down, but some commanders with it do, So the Mercury, however, offers trigger rate and attack. You can build a damage build with that on a lot of different comms and fuck some shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a toss up. Now, if
Have
I had to spend on 2 different pieces, what?
I don't want to run into more people with using Mercury. Stop it.
Oh god. Sorry. My apologies. If I had to choose between 2 of them, though, I guess I would go Broken Fortress and the fucking Rogers weapon. I think those would be my 2 choices. If I had to choose between, if I had the Sunraven was off the table. I like that fucking attack. That attack's nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't been releasing that like crazy. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be buying for that. That's a lot of damage.
Well, it
Oh, yeah.
literally just came out last event.
Let's talk about the fact that regulars are $1,000 this event. Jesus.
Yeah, this event is so bad. I wanted to make a video, but I didn't want to just trash on 7P for 15 minutes, so I decided not
Why
to.
not?
Well,
I'd watch it.
this is a bad event. Sorry, 7P. I'll say it. This is a fucking bad event, bro.
It's a really bad event.
They just need to fucking get rid of the damn Rooney Roulette. It's stupid. The Rooney Roulette is nothing but a gold waste. And everyone knows it by now. Or at least they fucking honor.
I mean, we talk about it enough. Don't spend on that. I think every gear talk we say don't use the roulette. We got Havoc. Do you got any questions for us, bro? See, you jumped in and just muted yourself.
Who?
Havoc?
What's up, Havoc? What's up, bro? How you doing, man? You better fucking answer me after that intro, bro.
No?
You ass. That's fun. Maybe just join and listen. I'm disappointed in the intro necklace. be honest with you.
Yeah, that was stupid. Like, they need to stop coming out with crit damage gear until they stop coming out with crit wither gear. Like,
Yeah, right.
crit wither counters two things at the same time, both crit and crit damage. It doesn't matter how much crit damage you have. If the enemy has crit wither, it's not doing anything. It's
Nope.
stupid. Like the Acela, semi-useless. Entropy necklace, semi-useless. The only way to utilize it is if you run a full crit damage build on a commander with a guaranteed crit skill, so that you don't have to worry about crit.
So Czar.
And then,
Well,
yeah, like
I can say that with Acela though, you can get it if you can put it into that DS and make it actually pretty nasty. A DS with a Acela can be nasty as fuck.
base
So I will
attack,
say
like it has the same base attack as an Alcade or a Dim Light, right? So that's fine. But the Acela is not a bad piece overall, but like
yeah.
you can't justify spending money into getting that for a piece to make a build that doesn't work any better than anything else. Like the hybrid builds are better. You can't run a one slot bust with DS and kill like the full tanks. She doesn't hit hard enough unless you're one of the super Uba massive all 50 gear players. You might be able to kill some tanks with a DS if you ran a full damage build. Because like you have to run the crit damage troops, which have to ramp 3 slots to get the full effect. And you have to run crit damage on the helm, crit damage in the weapons, crit damage in the pants, just to have enough to overcome 600% awakening. And then stack gear on top of it. They're still not doing anything. Wait, let me add that up. What's the stats for that?
Well, Acela is 40% crit damage base.
40. Okay, so that's 120. What's the elite pants?
Pants. Pants. Where are these fucking pants? There they are. 30%.
What's Magical's 50. Okay, so 40, 40,
Magical?
40, 120, 170 times 6. 170 times 6 is 1,020. And then times 1.1, that's 1,122 with all 50 gear bonus using, and then 145. Add 145. That's 1,267 with Dawn. If you used Magwell, Acela, 2 Acelas, and Entropy Necklace, that's 1,267. So then Awakening 600, so you cut that down to 627. I mean 667. Upgrade.
Now,
Handbook.
but your
weapon.
You're calculating
What's the elderbeard
crit damage. Like, what's the point if your crit is gone?
Right. No. Well, that's because you would be presumably running that on a Czar or someone with a guaranteed crit skill.
Okay.
So Aldebaran's are 30%. And then say Ambition, what's that? 40%?
Hold on.
Scrolling.
40%. And then
40. 100 times, that's 600 right there. Just those 3 pieces. That's 600. And then add, so that's 7%. Just those 3 pieces, assuming you're not running Nanto or Beetlejuice with 600% awakening, takes all but 7% of that crit damage and disappears it. Poof. Not counting Hull. So that's 3 pieces to counter 4.
It's not really useful.
Like that's the max you get. So then you could add the crit damage from the troop skill, which is what, 100%?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So you can get, if you had all of that gear, all at 50, and you were using a Magwell, which sucks in general, then you would get basically nothing but the stack from your crit troops at that point, from the crit damage. All you do with that massive amount of crit damage is stack it against the crit wither to get your troops to be able to trigger on top. That's basically it. It's just not worth it for the damage you're getting. And then you don't have a formula. So on Czar specific. So Czar specifically doesn't technically need formula, assuming you're using multiple troop types. But then if you use troop types, you can't run enough stacks of crit troops. So there's that.
You can still get 3 slots or better, because most people ain't gonna be running 4 slots. You know what I'm saying? So you can still get run 3 slots, 3 different types, and get away with it. So I mean, you could run like 3 slots of the crit troops, and then 2 slots of whatever, and a slot of whatever, and still be able to get your bonus that you need.
All dodge gems in the pants, all dodge gems in the helm, all attack gems in the weapon, and ran a void at plus 50 with max awakening dodge.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to have a solid hitting 1 slot bust with crit troops. I mean, 1 slot bust, but like you're gonna be squishy AF, 0 survival at all. And once if your crit damage doesn't take effect, like say they're using 4 crit wither pieces, all that extra damage, nothing. So then you're left with nothing but the attack from the weapons. It's basically
Hold on, so the crit wither. Okay, so since Czar's skill is a guaranteed crit, does that mean that its crit damage is guaranteed to do it too, even through crit wither, or does it mean that it's just the crit is going to be guaranteed?
The base 2 times crit damage is landing.
Okay.
So you will hit.
So that just means So it doesn't mean you're going to do the crit damage. I got you.
Yeah, crit wither is still cutting every ounce of crit damage that you send at it. 150. If you have 1,000 crit wither, you're countering both 1,000 crit and 1,000 crit damage. If the skill's guaranteed crit, you're still countering that 1,000 crit damage. So the most that they're doing is the basic 2 times damage, which cannot be cut.
Yeah.
So you'll hit a basic crit hit, and then you'll have the basic attack, and you'll be running super wimpy gear with no other trigger rate, damage reduction, nor etc.
Yeah, that'd be stupid to do.
Yeah, there is no way to overcome crit wither in this game efficiently. It's a pointless stat at this point in the game.
Yes, being correct.
So you're saying 7P needs to release more crit damage gear?
No, so he needs to fuck off.
He's alive.
Crit wither gear.
He's alive.
Barely.
So yeah, if you had the availability of running that all at 50 with crit damage troops, you could theoretically hit very hard versus select enemies that aren't running enough crit wither. But you're also super squishy. You have no additional trigger rate. You have no survivability, no damage reduction. Your dodge is coming from gems and the chest piece only. And this only works on Czar because she has a guaranteed hit.
Yeah.
So that crit, a guaranteed crit.
No, I agree
So
100% with you. I agree.
You'd be back.
I was just asking questions. Yeah.
Old 1 slot bust days of where people ran 40% guaranteed hit Gilly and just hoped and prayed that they would trigger.
Fuck that.
Or
Vega was more fun to trigger with.
Right. Or Vega. Right.
And it's exclusive. Vega was cheap.
It's not. There's no point in doing it, and you have to run all 50. Also with the helm to even get 10 because it's 4% base. It's trash, and that special effect doesn't make any sense. It's like the barbarian's blood. Hey, if I don't hit you hard enough, I'll do more damage. Okay.
Right? It's stupid. I agree. The entry for the next list is a very disappointing piece. 100% agree with that. Oh well. Well, if that's everything, guys. I mean, I guess we can wrap it up. And we did cover a few good topics of discussion. So, I guess joining in next week, hopefully, and make sure if you Watch the video. Make sure you like and subscribe to Grinch's channel. He's doing a lot of good support for the community. And other than that, I'm out.
All right. Appreciate it, everybody. We're out.